Hey everybody, kind of want to show you this game that it's an MMO, and I've never really been a big MMO guy. Been really a single player or a kind of a strategy game person or a first-person shooter type. But I would, listen to a few of the online casters, and there's a few web shows I listen to, and talking about MMOs, there's always one thing or two things or a couple things that are glaring about them, and then they basically were commenting that this one was one that from a free-to-play model pretty much got it right. And I based on those recommendations, I said, well, I'll give it a try and kind of see how it goes. What this game is it's obviously Star Trek, but it's the post-Romulus explosion, and then subsequent kind of reboot after that. They've got a lot of the same characters in there. A lot of the people from the shows do cameos and record things, and Leonard Nimoy has done quite a bit. You can be Romulan, Klingon, or Federation, and basically what has happened is, since the demise of Romulus, the Klingons then attacked the Romulan Empire, and then there's a big war. The Bajoran and other thing has all subsided because of all the other crap going on. Now there's a couple of other new factions in here and there, so basically it's a Federation that are at war with the Klingons, because they obviously are siding with the Romulans to stabilize the galaxy. And you basically can kind of pick where you want. Obviously I pick Federation, being a from way back, and then got me a ship. So I've ranked up this character to Vice Admiral, but I just kind of want to show you what the game is about. I believe I'm at Starfleet Academy. Okay, yeah. So basically, you on your command part, you have a bunch of things that you can do. All it is you go around, you do things, you do missions, you get different things. You need dilithium to buy stuff. You need to, you have experience points, fleet marks, reputation points, all these other things that energy credits that you need to buy, sell, fund stuff. Let me clear all these things out. What did I fail at? Apparently my guys did not uncover an intelligence leak. That's fine. Okay. And there's a daily quest here at Starfleet Academy, which I like to do, which is you do a History 101. You look at the library and you automatically win, and then History 102 is a quiz on what a specific question. So let me go over to the library. You do is hit continue, boom, you get your little data chip. In here you click on the data chip, and then it'll tell you what the data chip, you get an accolade for doing that. Over here at the testing, you have to answer a question. Who is revealed to be Undine in 2401. There's actually a wiki. Let me get the answer to that question. Okay. There we go. There we go. And that's a daily quest. Every 20 hours you can go there. Here's where you get your personnel. Every about 3 to 4 days you can go and request duty officers, and that's really where the key to this game lies, is duty officers. You want to get the ones in the purple. They're the best duty officers, and then there's the blue, and then there's the green, and then there's the white. White duty officers, I don't have a whole lot. I've got a few, but I either donate them or I retrain them and I can trade in. You can trade in like 5 white ones to get a green one, 5 green ones to get a blue one, and so on. You can get duty officers there at Starfleet Academy, or you can go, and there's 2 other spots out here that you can get duty officers, and one of them is here. They're and these are cultural exchanges, so you can get an Andorian or a Tellurite, and then a Vulcan. So you can get 3 plus those every couple of days, so you can really get a lot of officers pretty quick. So for new people, I would recommend doing that as much as possible. Get whatever you can. Now that's pretty much all I do here. I'm gonna beam up to Earth Space Dock just to show you. So we're in San Francisco, obviously. I didn't look over. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge where we were at. Now in this latest version, I need to put my uniform on. Where's my... Is this it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, actually, my uniform could use some work. So obviously here's the operations center. There's put my guns away before people get mad at me. You can talk to ambassadors, you can get missions, you can talk to the admiral, you can talk to commanders. They'll give you different things. Captain Sulu. Now, I'm assuming that this is his son. So, because this is a few years after all that other stuff has happened. And you can train officers, you can request officers. I don't need any bridge officers, but you can buy them if you want. I've already filled my officers up on the bridge. You can train skills if you want to. Oops. Most people are just off running around. So if you get hurt, you can go to the infirmary and heal up for free. If your ship is damaged, you can go to the shipyard and they'll fix it for free. You can go to the tailor and get a bunch of different uniforms. Obviously, that's where we get into the, this is a free-to-play game, but if you want like all kind of weird stuff, I've got all the ones that were given. But if you want really cool ones, that's why my uniform looks really bad. And then you can requisition equipment. A lot of these, all the equipment is this energy credit, which I have 1.4 million of, so I can pretty much buy what I want. These things are used for your weapons, but most of my weapons I've gotten during missions, or here's a cool one I got on a Klingon planet. That's pretty swifty. Where's my... There we go. That'll hurt. So, all right. And then you can buy different things. You can buy shields. You know, you've got a whole bunch of your kit, which I am a tactical officer. So I've got a tactical kit, and then my body armor, shields, the pistols I have, and then if we get into close combat, I switch over to this thing and just knock people. The beauty is this thing's got 80% shield penetration, and it's got a chance to knock people back, and it's kind of cool. I'm going to click on my tribble. Alright. And then I've got a shield frequency remodulator. That's when you run into the Borg. So once you knock a Borg down, the next Borg is going to modulate to block whatever you have. Well, then you do this remodulation, and it'll remodulate your weapons to a different frequency. So it's kind of cool. And then I can heal myself if I need to, and then I keep my party horn. I'll show you that. All my bridge officers, and then I've got my shuttle, and then my main ship. This is actually a Voth cruiser that I won in a lottery from the actual game itself. Yeah, I remember I was just flying around in one of my crappy ships, and I got a bunch of messages, private messages on chat saying, "Hey, I'll pay you this, I'll pay you that." I'm like, "For what?" And they said, "Your name popped up," and I looked over, and then in my inventory there was this little box. I clicked on it, and this dang freaking cruiser came out. So I've been flying with this. It's got a hangar bay with a bunch of little, and I've got different types of ships I can put in there. I can put repair ships, I can put whatever. I've got 6 of these little fighters that I have, which is kind of cool. But I've got 4 forward weapons and 4 reverse aft weapons, but they have targeting arcs like 250 degrees. This one has a 360 degree targeting arc. So realistically, at just a small angle, I've got 8 weapons in the front pretty much, which is really, really cool. And some of these things hit hard. So yeah, ships tend to evaporate. And I have some really big beefy weapons, but they don't have the firing frequency that I'd like. So I do have a mix of kind of photon weapons, disruptor weapons, and laser weapons. So I've got kind of a mix of weapons that I use. And then my warp core, my impulse engines, deflector shields, and that sort of thing. So then you got buffs. I do have an immunity buff that puts this big shield around me, and then I can also drop turrets and stuff in space that have like a big range of attack. Now they're not really beefy, but they will soak up some hits while you're trying to get away. And then each of the officers I've equipped with not quite the type of weapons that I have, but they have as big as shields and as big a body armor as I could get for them. And each of them have their own traits. And then when we get into the actual ship itself, they all have buffs. My tactical station has fire at will and overload, which upgrades beams. Engineering has different buffs that it can do during battle. Also the tractor beams, photonic shockwave is really great. So if a bunch of ships start coming at you and they get really close, you just hit this photonic shockwave and it knocks them all back, and it disables them and does some other things. So there's interesting buffs they do. These are the when you're in the ship, and then there's some that are on when you go on the away team. I pick my team based on some of the buffs that they have, and then we go into battle and stuff, which is really cool. So the reason I came into here So the reason I came into here was just to kind of show you what's available at Starfleet. Now, once you rank a little bit up, you end up becoming part of a fleet. So I'm seeing what they've got going on here. So for each of these, you donate, and I've donated to most of the my contributions. So if you go to the roster and the contributions, I've contributed 758,000 credits. Some of these guys have been in this fleet for a long time and have donated a lot, some not as much, but I'm kind of right in the middle, you know, and you get rank based on the amount of credits that you from a fleet rank, and then most everybody is up to Vice Admiral at this point in the game. The game's been around for a few years, so when I joined in, I wasn't very high at all. But this is where you can get some of these things. There's commodity traders, so if you need to buy certain things, some of the missions, and here's your mission, a lot of your mission tabs, you know, they require you to go out and help somebody or bring somebody somewhere and give them provisions or whatever. You can buy a lot of that stuff here. You can buy some of that stuff in space. Actually, I need to rub my tribble and get a nuclear mark for rubbing your tribble. But here's my party horn. Oops. So wherever I go, I like to lay down a bunch of balloons so people can kick them around. See this guy? He's running around. Okay. Realistically, I'm at this point. I did a lot of missions. I got ranked up. You know, I ranked up my ship. I ranked up my players. There's a lot of different things you can do. There's missions. There's, you know, the whole storyline behind it. I did a few of them. They got and let me go to space and then let me beam up to my ship. Where's my Let me beam up to my ship and then I'll show you. I'll show you my ship, and then let's go to sector space. I need to go to the dilithium mines anyway, so while we're running over there, I'll show you a little bit about the galaxy itself and kind of the Star Trek universe. It's been a little bit of a confusing ride for me. Alrighty, I need to get there. So this is my cruiser, which is way cool. I cannot launch my stuff in regular space unless there's enemies around. But yeah, I have a really cool ship. I really like it. So basically, let me go to the galaxy map. And there's my little icon. So where is the lithium mines? Well, anyway, we'll end up getting there. I think the dilithium mines are over here next to Deep Space Nine. So they've got the whole Deep Space Nine thing and the Beta Ursa block with the Cardassians and all the Bajor. Then you got the Romulan stuff that happened. Then you got the Klingons. Then you got the Dyson, which is the Delta Quadrant. And there were some Dyson spheres they found. If you recall, some of the Next Generation shows that they found Scotty on a Dyson sphere. Actually, that's where we had intercepted the Voth, who were trying to steal the Dyson spheres, and that's where I got this Voth. This is where the Voth cruiser came from. So I did a few of those missions. Basically what you do is when you do that kind of stuff, let me get into warp into the beta sector. Okay, and there is Deep Space Nine in Bajor. Now you can go there and do stuff. There's all kind of things you can do. There's tons of things you can do for each of these peoples. I've also got a transwarp drive, which is pretty cool. So it makes you go a lot faster to get to places. Although, I mean, that's the one thing about different MMOs that I've seen is you spend a lot of time walking. This game, not as much, because you got a couple different things. You got a transwarp drive that has prefixed destinations. You saw Borg Cube. You can fight those. Okay. And then there's these distress calls, which are the Borg invasions and stuff. I don't really want to do that quite now. But the universe encompasses really just the whole gambit of everything that is Star Trek. So we're at war with the Klingons, we're at war with the Borg. There are all these other species that are involved. The Undine, the Gorn are involved. They're back in it. So it's pretty much everywhere, and you run into different. Where is my? Yeah. You run into different. Star Trek characters along the way, and one of the things that I've acquired is this Vulcan data recorder, and this is...
My friend sacrificed so much to secure peace with the Klingons.
Right.
I bear the responsibility for the consequences.
So basically this is Leonard Nimoy recorded everything about pretty much the whole galaxy. So anywhere you go, you get a new piece to the data recorder that describes that sector. So if you're not sure about what these sectors are, you can just open up your data recorder and listen to the messages broadcast by...
The Klingons are willing to use any weapon available to destroy the Federation.
By Spock, which is kind of interesting. So, this game, I've really barely scratched the surface on the different things that you can do. I can imagine somebody could get really sucked in. I'm trying to reserve about 45 minutes a day for this, and that's pretty much it. The only thing I really do is I'll maybe run a couple of missions and then mine my dilithium, because you only get a certain amount, and that's pretty much it. But there's tons of different episodes, Foundry missions, different, and everybody and their mama wants you to do something. All the different officers are, banging you to, there's a bunch of daily missions. There's missions on your, fleet spire. There's missions in your fleet headquarters. There's Starfleet Academy. I do a couple, and I said, that's about it. Otherwise, you could pretty much spend 20 hours a day on this thing. Anything that you normally have to pay for that I can get for... now, I do have a few dilithium suits, which is, this one's a pretty cool one. This red one is pretty cool. All these I got doing missions. This one I actually got in the Dyson Sphere, because, obviously the context of the Dyson Sphere is when they trap a small star and they build a world around it, or whatever that whole thing is. And, well, this suit here has the ability to spend a small amount of time into the chronosphere of a star. Obviously you burn up and die, which I did a lot of times trying to get that mission done, but it is a pretty beefy suit, and it does actually have some buffs on it, so it's not like a stock suit. And so we part of the pay to win type thing is you can get these dilithium claim tickets, and then you get these lock boxes, you buy keys, you open them up, and then you can get this special mission which allows you to mine a lot more dilithium. You can process up to 8,000 dilithium crystals a day. You know, I get 1,000 off of this. You get 5. You can mine 5 of these because that's the mission that we, you know, asteroid mining, do 5 sites, and you get 200 dilithium on each site, and then you go to your, and then I'll go to the home base, and then we'll do another couple there. But dilithium mining is just basically a small puzzle game. You just have to keep your cursor on the circle, so you use your arrow keys to get bigger, smaller, or left and right. So it's basically a minor dexterity game. It's only enough to waste your time grinding. I guess that's one of those pieces that I guess all MMOs have, where you know and I guess in the EverQuest days it was killing rats and picking up stones or whatever the heck it was, and today it's no different. Now they got you mining dilithium or getting reputation credits or whatever. You know, once you get to a certain level, it's you know, I think the journey is really where the fun of these games are. But once you get to the end, you know, it's only lore, which from my perspective, I guess that's okay. So that's doing dilithium. I'm going to do the rest of this, and then I'll be back once I get done with the into the main fleet dilithium mine, so you can take a look at that. It's really cool. Okay, I got the dilithium from the asteroid here mined, and then I go to reset the mission so that in 20 hours I can come back and do it again, and that works out really well. So you know, when there's days where you can't do anything until later, and then you know, if you can do it earlier, if it's a 24-hour clock, then it always ends up pushing off rather than, you know. But if you know, you were able to do it 4 hours earlier every day, then you can in a period of time actually make up an extra mining day. But that 4 hours of flexibility really helps. Now this is, if you become part of a fleet, you can go and when I wasn't part of a fleet, the only thing I could do was get those 1,000 dilithium a day and let it build up. If you become part of a fleet, you have access to a fleet spire, a fleet star base, which you can get custom stuff for your fleet. As you rank your fleet up, you can get all kind of different things. And then we're going to go to the surface, and this is the dilithium mine for my fleet. And what I like to do is get rid of all the different things that I get, so that I don't have to carry them here, because you need these slots to be able to store items. So this is my bank, and this is my inventory list. Now you don't get these from a fleet free to play. So I did play this for probably a couple of months before I determined that, you know, it was a game that I'd be willing to invest a little bit of money in. So I went ahead and bought $50 worth. I figured the game was worth about $50, so I bought $50 worth, and I upgraded my bank and my inventory. That really helped a lot, and I increased my duty officer slots. So and then of course, over doing missions, I've got extra duty officers or bridge officers that I just can't use for anything, but I may swap them out for ones that I have. But that's what I really recommend, is if you're gonna if you decide you like it, then you're gonna need to upgrade upgrade some of these things to carry around stuff. That's just the way it is. Otherwise, you can't hold the things that you need to be able to build stuff you need to build, or donate if you need to donate, or that, and I think that's really, that goes back to the free-to-play, pay-to-win. You can play up to a point, you can do missions up to a point, but then it becomes very, very cumbersome. Now, along with the 1,000 dilithium you can mine at the open mining area, and then here it's 2,440 that you can mine, or 2,480 or whatever that you can mine at your fleet. That's all the dilithium you can get, and then when you do missions and different things, you can get a little bit of dilithium, 5, 10 here, there, whatever. But the main stuff, this is the main place where you get dilithium. Now you can do a couple of missions. There's 2 missions you can do per day. So I went ahead and I've got some miners and the different officers that you need. Here's a geologist and a maintenance engineer. That if I get these, then I get different different things. So we'll assign these, and notice I'm assigning the highest rank that I can get. Now you don't have to take what your tactical officer, what she gives you. You can display the whole shoot match and pick whoever you want. Typically they give you decent ones. Not always found that to be the case, where there might be better officers out there and they just didn't pick them for whatever their logic tree is. That's just the way it works. So these are my department heads. Alyssa Flores is my first officer, and then I've got, she's also the tactical officer, and then the science officer, the medical, operations, and security. Got a Klingon for my security because I like the whole morph thing, so I thought that was really cool. But my officers are pretty strong. They have pretty decent buffs. They know what they're doing, so it makes it a lot easier for me when I'm on away missions. I just usually let them do whatever. Now here's where I get my mission for, from the shift manager. Now you have to turn on your suit. If you don't and you walk outside, it's not good. Oh, you're choking. So we got it. You have to turn the suit on, and that always works better. Now your health does regenerate at a certain rate depending on different things, but oh, actually, forgot to do one thing. Kick a few balloons down in the there we go. I like to kick a few balloons down with me. So here's the dilithium, and the ones that have the circles, those are the ones that we're supposed to mine. So what I usually try to do is I try to make it into as much of a not crisscrossing back and forth. I was confused at the beginning to know which one. I was always just grabbing the closest one, and I try to make it so that it's a path so I don't have to retrace my steps. It doesn't always work that way. Obviously, since you're on an asteroid, it's not a, the mass isn't as great, so your gravity is lower. So you're able to jump, and walking is more of hopping than actually walking. It's pretty impossible, and it's pretty impossible to run, so you just kind of hop around. But I'm going to go ahead and mine all the main dilithium here, and then I will show you get one. The last one is interesting. They always put it in a cave, and then you got to go hunt for it. But I will show you what that is once I'm done getting the other 3 times 15 or whatever they give you for that. Okay, so this is the last patch that we've mined, and the last one they give you a little bit more. So yeah, 2,480 is the amount you can get from your home fleet dilithium mine. So this is down in a cave, and I'll tell you what, you know, some of the textures are okay, but I tell you what, just the kind of the way they've built this thing, and the different, just the 3D environment that you're in is just pretty spectacular, I think. You know, just the way it looks, and different mechanics, and of course, getting out of this cave is it's lucky we have these thrusters on the suit. Now, what you could do is just beam out to your ship and then beam back down, and then to reset the clock. But you know, just for something as mundane as, you know, your dilithium mining, again, looking at the textures, you know, it would be really nice to see, you know, welds or bolts or something, but just, it's pretty spectacular. I mean, you know, when you look around at everything that's in here, you know, the different kind of crystals and all that different thing, you know, it's just pretty cool. Pretty cool. The balloons are gone. Okay, so we reset the clock, so there we go, 19 hours and 42 minutes. I can come back and do it all over again. So we'll go ahead and transition it. So now I've got 69,000. I mean, you can buy things, you know, different types of things that you may need for your ship, you know, Romulan drone ships, Tholian weavers, whatever, environmental suits, whatever. All mine I've gotten through missions, except for the 85 crystal. You know, once I did a few missions and I got 85 crystals, I ran over and bought a suit, and then other different things. But what can we get from ground items? Wait, yeah, phase. Yeah, so you can buy different things. I've always just went ahead and you know, used the ones that I got during missions or whatever, instead of there we go. So I'm going to return back to sector space, and I will set up my my assignments. And what I try to do is so for today, what I'll do is I'll just set my and here's fleet. You can do fleet battles where you earn different things and all that stuff. Today I'm just going to go ahead and set my assignments, and basically you do assignments and you gain proficiency and rank in these things. So I've ranked up in diplomacy, but now 150,000 points is maximum. So I still got some diplomacy to do, science to do. I'm maxed in engineering. I still have a military to go. Exploration, I'm only rank 2. Espionage, rank 3. Medical, I'm maxed. Colonial, 2. There's always... Now, colonial things, what's really interesting, you can get refugees, you acquire them, and then you can resettle them. I really like doing that. Maxed on trade, maxed on development. Those are the first two that it was so easy, just basically going place to place and getting those done. And then recruitment. There's not as many missions. Obviously, there's not as many missions that I found on the ones that are obviously not done than the ones there are. And then also, I think the duty officers is another key. So what we do is we look at the current map and we say, okay, diplomatic. Let me do a mission, and that's basically it. Like these ones with the little red thing, it says provide terraforming support for this colonization effort. Well, I can go and replicate these and then go ahead and do these missions. What's my okay, I can do science. So if I do that, then I just go to the replicator, and I need, that is a weather control system. So I go to weather control systems, I replicate 15 of those, and then terraforming systems, I need 15 of those. So I just do that. Now there are places around the galaxy, and there's the wikis and all that stuff you can look at, and they'll tell you where to go to get some of the stuff a lot cheaper. And a lot of people, that's their whole deal, is you know, trying to get it cheaper. Now for the missions, the officers, these things are the ones that you really want to match. The type of officer and if they've got any buffs on them. And then that we're really, so we want a medical or a science, and then any one of these. So efficiency there, efficiency there. So this mission is going to be a critical success, and you get extra bonuses. Now the regular, you get you know, 5 dilithium and then all these other things. You know, I spent more energy credits than I'm going to get, but I'll probably get a critical success, and I'll probably get a bonus on most of the other things. That's basically what you do to do these missions. So this one wants a biologist and a technician. Since I've got the purple rating, you know, it's going to be a success, slam dunk. Colonial resettle colonists. Okay, this is a mission where I'll get 5 colonists, and then I can take them somewhere and then drop them off. So, but I need to have, my problem is that I don't think I'm going to have the officers necessary to do this mission. So I'll look for counselor or quartermaster, and then I'll look for quality. So I do have that one, which wasn't on the original display. And then I'll go to the next one, and that guy is there, and he was there, I do believe, and I think he was there. Then I'll go to the next one, and I'll look for any that have, I guess you don't want them to have anything. I mean, I could drop this guy in there and hoping that doesn't, but those things undermine the mission. They'll either have some that'll say success or critical success, and they'll want them to have a certain, be a telepath or whatever. And actually I'll drop this guy. So that mission should be successful, and I should, after the amount of time, 3 hours and whatever, then I'll have, you know, those in there. So I'm up on trade and up on engineering. So I don't need to do any of those. But then I can go into my departments and I can say, okay, what do you guys have? I don't have any of those, and I can't replicate those. Drop this guy in there. Now this guy, he was rejected from the last one because he was unscrupulous. Well, for this one, it wasn't a problem, right? Some missions, they want you to be unscrupulous. Like if you're doing any kind of espionage or whatever, you want somebody that's unruly, unscrupulous, and whatever. Same with this, you want cunning and unscrupulous to try to steal a, you know, you know, to negotiate for something. Pretty interesting, the way they do it. Now you do have some personal missions. See what we got going on here. Do we have anybody with the crap here? No. Do I need military? Yes. Checked out weapons officer. So this guy has 2 critical success elements. Oh, aggressive and efficient. And he's a projectile weapons officer. So I also need another one of those. I don't have any other than that, but you know, this guy is gonna hopefully make it successful. I'm just gonna fill up these missions. And that's basically what you do to fill those things up. Actually, we'll go to battle just for a minute. See how that works. Alright, so now we have a Borg mission. Let me get launch my little things. What I do is I'll put them back in the hangar bay. These little ships that come out will end up Scorpion fighters. I've got the Scorpions deployed. You can have Voth ones and different ones. Those guys are fighting already. And it's third-person view on these things. So we'll just keep firing. So you get expertise points for blowing up stuff.
You will become one with the Borg.
And I usually let somebody, whoever wants to lead, whoever wants to pick the target, knock yourself out. We have basically 15 minutes to defeat 4 of these enemies, and then we get the big boss. And then also what we can do is you can just click on somebody and say follow, and then your ship will go out where they're at. And it's better if you get everybody to join like a squad or something. Firing on that stuff. Well, here's the photonic shock. It's kind of cool. Now I can buff everybody around me.
Your defensive capabilities are ideal to withstand us.
I can also put shields around somebody if I want to. But I haven't sent my fighters out, and I'll save those for the where are these guys going? Oh, they're fighting these guys. Okay. Oh, for the big boss, I'll show you those. Man, this guy's got weapons. Power level. Now I also push more on weapons than I do whatever, but if I wanted to put heavy defense, I could select on heavy defense. And here's the big ass ship, whatever. So let me see where he's at. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Now I typically like to get on top of him, so I'm going to hit boost on my impulse, and I will go up and get up on top of them. And I want to get right about 10. Okay. There we go. And then I will launch my fighters. Okay. There we go. And then I will fire at will. Now, notice every single one of my weapons are firing. I'll upgrade damage. Now, if I start taking damage, I have this is called immunity. It's a big reflector dish. It just it's a big bubble on my ship, and it'll absorb 100,000 damage. It's really good. But it makes you work really slow. And then I got other buffs. Recharge buffs, so it reduces recharge time of all these other items on here. Shields, I can regenerate shields. So yeah, that was pretty simple. So there was some strong guys in here. One of my ships got destroyed in that big explosion. So you get different things. So I've got a bonus pack for doing the daily mission. So we'll leave the sector. I'll open the rewards and spend them. So here we are, sitting out in the middle of wherever, and then I will. What did we get? We got use 10 Omega marks and use 35 Omega marks. Yay! So we go to our reputation tab, and here's where you can spend your marks. Now, if I were going to different planets, and like if I go to New Romulus or out to the Dyson area is phenomenal. You just got big battles. This whole area's all these places have just huge. Now, I have not been out here to check this stuff out, but I've been to New Romulus, done a lot of the missions there. Really cool. And then what you see, I've done all the cheap missions. So, and now once I fill up the marks, then I don't dump my stuff until then, and then you get these things, whatever the reward is. That's not as important really as the your status for, you know, your tier, I guess, on each one. I'm not sure what it does for you, but you know, I'm really kind of mad about this one. I had contributed, I did the missions every day, but they had some downtime in there, and I missed one day of getting the thing I needed to contribute. So I really wanted to get this special, very rare, you know, officer, and I didn't get it. And then I had a big 250, you know, fleet marks that you could get and stuff, and I didn't get any of that stuff because I literally couldn't get it. So it was really upset me. So that's what I do. I spend them, and then once I get that, then I'll contribute the other parts of it. You never want to contribute to something that like these pieces of it until you've completed those, and that's just what I've learned over time. But you can just do these missions, go to the different areas, like I said, in the space, and find them and do different things, and you get different marks, and you know, increase your reputation, and you can go to your fleet and spend fleet marks there on buying different things. Like I said, I got, I think, all the stuff that I really need, and then I just kind of fly around and do different things. I'm just going to park myself back to get ready to mine for tomorrow. But you know, you can go and fight Klingons and do different things and whatever, but you can see all the people where they congregate. There's a few places on the maps where you see them congregate. Obviously, at you know, Deep Space Nine, your dilithium mining places, Starbase 24, you know, Earth, you know, Starfleet Academy. But these are all people. I mean, these are all folks doing their things, got in their ships. You can see, oh, there's an awesome Klingon bird of prey. Different types of ships, different loadouts. I like the one I have. It doesn't have as many crew, but it's not a bad ship. My crew is 1,500. There's some that are bigger, but I just love the number of weapons. But here's all the starships that I've earned. I've dumped some of the original ones, but some of these are really, really cool. The only real thing I'm disappointed about my ship is it doesn't have a very good interior, and maybe that's just the Voth. My other ships had staterooms and corridors and engineering and medical, and this is it. This is the bridge. You know, where you would normally be able to go into these doors into captain's quarters, or you know, these doors and go down into a turbo lift and do whatever. This is it. This is all you get. I mean, yeah, you can sit in your chair and all that stuff, but you know, that's it. That's all you have. Now these things don't work. Your bank things, but now you can speak to your. You know, here's where you can get into your shuttle. And actually, my shuttle has doesn't have very. I gotta, you know, there's a couple missions on some planets that you can go do things in. But all your stuff is located right here, which is really disappointing. But if I go to like main engineering, normally in big ships you can actually go there and talk to them there. Here I can do that, and you know, we can do missions to build things, right? So like I can assemble ship repair components, which is, what is this, a special item, whatever, or assemble heavy turrets, an anti-proton turret. I'm missing, what is this, contraband, or no, isometric probe, which I could get, and then I don't have that one. How about this one? I don't have that one. There, I got that. So if I get a astrometric probe, which I can replicate, and then I've got the plans for a phaser turret prototype, I can then assign guys to build it for me. But you can build all different kind of turrets, which are cool. But you know, consoles, torpedo platforms, whatever, you can build. But I'm just, you know, really disappointed that there isn't engineering, there isn't medical, there isn't tactical, there isn't your stateroom, and they had a really nice crew lounge, which was really cool. You know, but I mean, this is it. The Voth cruiser just doesn't. There's not a whole lot to the Voth cruiser, and I really wish you could actually sit first-person view and actually control. You know, that would be really, really cool from a simulator battle perspective, is you run the battle from the bridge and see it. Because right now, I mean, you could fly and you can't see stuff on the screen. So, but it would be really cool. I mean, I'm kind of picking a little bit, you know, for a free-to-play game, this is actually pretty spectacular. But that was really the only thing that the Voth cruiser really was missing a lot of the amenities of the other ships. The other ships some of my ships were just so fantastic. You know, you get a stateroom and, you know, and a captain's lounge next to it, and just really cool things. It's fun to go jump on the bed and different things. I know I shouldn't really be disappointed, but But that's Star Trek Online. It's a pretty cool game, free to play, pay to win, same as all the other ones. But it actually allows truly free to play. You can just play and enjoy yourself, go around, do missions like everybody else. But if you've got the money and you want to buy things, I mean, I have not bought any ships. Some of the ships you see around are obviously purchased. You can tell that they're purchased, but it's pretty cool. So we'll talk to you later.